one thing I want to put a pin in the evolution of the sport, but I want to go back to your fans, because there's never been a female athlete that's done what you've done in my eyes. You came out of the blocks, hadn't won really anything major. Not that it was a class even created, but
I was dead last
in your
most of my career. Honestly, I was last place in figure shows, obviously.
Yeah. Well, let's talk about that, right? So what was your motivation to keep on going? Because the look that they were going for wasn't the look that you were built for.
No.
You know, obviously the class got developed later down the line.
It's much different now, obviously.
But dare I say it, I feel like they created that class because you were there and you were the superstar in the class. They didn't know what to do with.
I tell everyone that they just couldn't deny me anymore. They're like, fine, this Dana Lynn Bailey girl keeps showing up and looking like, we'll just make a class for her.
Let's just create a class.
Fine.
But you were placing, last.
Last call outs.
So what was your motivation back then to keep on going? Because, again, there was no class created. I know you and I have spoken, and you've spoken about this many times. They were telling you that you had to get boobs to place.
Stop training so heavy. Like, I used to get marked down for having, like, abs, because my abs, like, they don't go away. Yeah. And then they just get worse and worse. And striated shoulders, and yeah, I was just too big, too hard, and looking at pictures, I feel like I looked horrible. Like,
really?
Yeah. I mean, back then, I had no idea what I was doing, but it was a different sport back then too. Everyone, I guess, looked horrible. But yeah, dead last. And at first it was like really hard because I was like, what the heck? Like, I feel like I look way better than all of these people. Like, look at my shoulders and.
Because you were conditioned.
Yeah, I was conditioned.
The girls are beating you. You were super soft. I've seen pictures and showed me back then.
It was crazy. And I realized I was competing because it gave me a reason. I liked competing because I'm a competitor at heart. I've been competing in sports. Like, I was on the swim team at age 5.
Soccer too, right?
Soccer, basketball, field hockey, swimming, track, and softball. I was a 6-sport athlete. All I know is competition. Mm-hmm. So that was a way, like, I got into the gym and instantly, like, made it into a competition with myself. It's like, how many pull-ups am I going to get? What can I bench today? And then competing came in, and I was like, okay, now I have a reason to be doing this. Like, I'm training for something. I'm lifting weights so I can compete. Like, I liked getting ready for something because for me, like, I used to love practices, like soccer practice, like, that was even more fun than almost like playing sometimes. Like, I liked preparing for the big thing. So this was like my way. Okay, now the gym, this has a reason why I'm here. It gives it a reason. So I kept doing it and realized, like, we had also started YouTube at that point in time, and we were really starting to gain a following because we were like first the scene on like YouTube. I remember there wasn't a whole lot of people doing it, and if they were fitness, it was like girls deadlifting in like thongs and stuff because that's
really?
what, oh my God. Like, you remember like the Larissa Reyes, like that, you remember that era?
Yeah.
Like, it was just wearing, and that's just what fitness was back then. And I think it's evolved as well. And I think I actually had a part in doing that.
Oh, so no, you were pioneer, no question.
Yeah. So when we started doing workout videos, it was almost like we made it into like music videos. So it was just fun, entertaining, vloggy style. You'd come eat with us, and it was just us training together. And like, you didn't have a girl training, and like I was benching like 100-pound dumbbells. Like, there was no other girl on the internet doing that. Yeah. And I would just try to do like just crazy weights, and I'm wearing like baggy sweatpants, and like, people felt comfortable with me because, like, if like, let's say you're watching the internet and you're watching some girl deadlift in a thong, you can't show your wife that, but a guy could be like, hey, this girl's pretty awesome. And the wife isn't going to be like, what are you watching, porn? Because I wasn't like that. Yeah. So I was friendly to everybody.
Yeah.
Like, I was more, and at that point in time, I was doing that also because I was a teacher at the time.
Oh, I didn't know this.
Yeah, so I was a teacher for 5.5 years.
In what?
Health and phys ed. Very fitting, very fitting. And but that was part of it. And then the other part, it was like, I'm an athlete. Like, I I want to be treated like an athlete. I'm not some like pinup doll. Like it just wasn't, it wasn't my brand. It wasn't who I was. And I was very comfortable. And like, you know, I like wearing baggy sweatpants and a sports bra. That's just what I work out in. And yeah, we were just different.
Yeah. I don't know if that answers my question.
No, so we were, oh, no. See, here we go. You have to keep me on track, man. I'm a rambler. I just tell stories.
When people interview me, you sound like me. So this is great.
You know,
I found my female equivalent.
So at that time, so when I was competing and we were doing YouTube, I would get off stage after being last place, and people were like lining up to like take photos with me. I was like, what the crap?
As an amateur?
As an amateur. At an amateur show, I was in like we started going to expos with that other company that I used to work with.
Yeah.
We don't talk about them anymore, but I was with a company before, and that's sort of how I started getting into expos. So he would come to the shows that I would do and set up little booths, like, because there were other vendors there too. So then I would go back and like help him with the booth, and people started like forming lines for me. I'm like, what is happening? And like, don't you want to go with the girl that got first place? She's holding the trophy over there. No one cared about her. Yeah. They cared about me. I was like, cool. I saw it as a platform. Okay, this is my platform. Doesn't matter if I win or lose. This is where I can show like what I'm capable of doing. So I used it more of a platform, and also to give the gym a reason. You know, I just like competing.
Yeah. Did you have the YouTube then? Did you mention that? Mm-hmm. So these people recognize you from YouTube?
Yeah.
Wow.
Recognize me from, and then people that maybe, even at the show, I didn't look like everyone else on stage. I looked completely different. I was like the black sheep, and they're like, whoa, who's that girl? And people will be like, whoa, you looked sick. Like your abs, your shoulders, like you didn't win. And everyone just thought it was crazy. They're like, you should have won. I was like, I don't know.
Yeah.
But other people noticed me because I didn't look like everybody else. I had short black hair, like this spunk, and I still have the hair, but I had this like weird, funky, like a different hair. Everyone else had long hair curled like this, and they all looked the same, and like big boobs. And here I am, flat chested and jacked. Like they're like, "Who's that girl?"
Because the complete opposite.
You know, I stuck out because I was different and I was unique.
Yeah. How tempted were you to go on that route?
I was because there have been many talks. Like Rob and I would sit down and like talk about goals, and I remember actively writing my goals out of things I wanted to do, and I wanted to be at that time whatever a fitness model was. Like I wanted to be on covers of magazines. I wanted to write for magazines. I wanted to compete. I wanted to be a sponsored athlete because I thought that was. Like that's back then you had to compete to be a sponsored athlete. So that's why I was competing. So I was really trying to take these shows like seriously. And there was like a discussion at some point in time where it's like, well, do I get boobs to like do better? Like, do I like change myself? And I realized it's like, obviously that I'm glad I have like a really good head on my shoulders. Like I really am. Like there's not a lot of people that can be told like, hey, this is the pathway to get to first place. And I was like, but I don't like that pathway. I'm going to try a different pathway and still try. Because like at the end of the day, it's like, and I also have a amazing husband that like he helped with that decision. Like, no, like you don't need to do this. You're perfect the way you are. And that really helped to have, you know, someone in your corner telling you like, no, you're perfect exactly how you are. People love you because of you. Like you don't need to, you're not a woman, and you don't need to have boobs to be sexy. And like, and I'm getting a lot of flack from the internet, like strangers and shit telling me how ugly I am. I look like a dude. And that's a lot for, especially a female, to handle like all that really horrible criticism about your body. I also come from a background of a lot of insecurities. Like my chest and my legs were like big insecurities for me. So conquering that, and like I think that's probably the biggest thing I'm most proud of, is because I didn't conform. I didn't follow what I was told to do, because I knew in my heart I liked to bench. Luckily, I was like, I don't know how that would work, like having like water balloons, like I don't know if because most girls that have boobs, they don't train chest anymore. And chest day was like my favorite day. And that was I actually liked training chest more than I liked boobs. That's pretty much it.
So, thank you for watching this segment. Check out the full interview on iTunes, Spotify, or YouTube. Help us by subscribing, leave a like, comment, or a positive review. Click this to see what YouTube recommends, and this to see the full interview. See you on the next one. Out.